Hi there, I'm Shannon Reber, and this is Joe Sweeney, and we are doing Genres Bookshop podcast. Joe, say hi.
Hello.
Okay, so let's see. The way we usually get these suckers started is you tell me what you've been reading.
Well, actually, the last thing I read was your book. Your book. I been working on internet stuff for the last little bit, so I haven't had time to sit down and read.
Gotcha.
So yes, in the midst, Light Bearer, Volume One. Yeah,
Gosh, that sounds interesting.
it was. It was.
Okay, so you are an audiobook narrator.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
gotta fill us in on all this jazz. So, how many books have you done so far?
This was my third book so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done too
So,
much, but yeah,
wait, hold on. Did the first one you did for me, was that really your second book that you'd ever done?
yeah, that was my second book. Yeah.
Holy cow, dude.
Yeah, my first book was yeah, it's a kitty cat. My first book was a Minecraft fan fiction, actually.
That is kind of seriously, I'm not patronizing you. I'm not patting you on the back. Yeah, she's so annoying. But you are amazing considering the fact this is your third freaking book. That's awesome.
Oh, well,
Good
thank
job,
you.
dude.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, that's to have a third book uh be this size, was that okay with you? I mean,
Yeah, it was fun. It was fine. I with each of the books they've gotten actually like progressively bigger. I think that first book was like 1,400 words and this one was I think 73,000. Sorry, not 1,400, 14,000. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
this one was what like 73,000, 74,000, something like that. And then Fire and Chains was around 30-ish, I believe. And yeah, it's gotten progressively longer and it's gotten a little bit more complex because this one had a ton of characters that I had to make
Yes.
voices for and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
it's always been a little bit more challenging with each one, but it's been fun to flex my skill with it and just try to get better. So it's been fun,
Okay.
especially
So
considering the majority of this book was a girl. So that
I
one
know.
was, yeah, I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how to voice a Asian teenage girl as a 28-year-old man.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I think it went well though.
You really did do a good job. And like I said, you didn't overdo the girl voice. So I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, like you said before with the falsetto thing, I definitely tried to stay away from a falsetto. I just tried to
Actually,
make it as like a little bit more mouthy, something like that. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Have you ever listened to the book I Am Number Four?
No, I've seen the movie. I haven't listened to the book though.
I watched the movie and I wanted to throw things at the screen because it was so far off the book. It was
Mm.
pathetic.
Yeah,
But
I enjoyed the movie for the most part. I was hoping for a sequel, and they never did one. But I'm assuming if it was really bad compared to the book, then that would make sense.
yeah, well, But
Yeah.
the reader for that audiobook, that's what he did. He made the girl's voice completely falsetto and
Oh
it
no.
was painful to listen to.
Mm,
And
yeah.
my nephew was listening, my nephew was reading the books and he was really enjoying them. I'm like, I want to read them. I want to know what it's about, but I can't handle that voice.
Yeah, no, I could imagine doing hearing a falsetto like that. Then, if you had to hear this the entire time, I think that would drive you crazy. That would
I
suck.
kind
That
of
would
want to throw something at you right now, actually.
suck. Yeah, plus I feel like that would hurt, like just to do that in my throat the whole time. I feel like hours of that would hurt, but
I think you're
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was actually planning on trying to do my own recordings for at least a couple of short stories.
Mm-hmm.
But my voice, I have a little kid voice. I can't do dude voices like at
Yeah.
all. I I couldn't even try it. So yeah, it was I couldn't
Well,
do it.
when I first was setting this up and first even thinking about attempting this, I watched a ton of stuff on YouTube and read a bunch of things. and Scott Brick, I believe his name is a really prominent author or narrator, and he doesn't do voices. He just changes the enunciation of words. So like for women, he said what he would do is he would end on a little bit like he would just adjust how he ended his words. With men, he would be a lot more like direct, like I'm going to talk like this type of thing. And with women, it would be almost like I'm going to talk like this. It's it's and with doing
Oh,
it, that would be how he would differentiate between women, because he made a point of saying like if you have 13 people in a room and every one of them has a different voice, it gets really complicated.
yeah.
But so he doesn't do voices, he just shifts the enunciation and the emotion.
That's a fantastic idea. Very
Yeah,
good.
look up Scott Brick. That might help you with the voices for your
I
thing.
definitely will because like I said, my little voice, I can't it sounds pathetic when I try to do dude voices. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
I'm sure you'll figure it out. You just gotta
yeah, maybe.
find time. Yeah.
Possibly. I do want to do a couple of short stories, but
Hmm.
okay, but since this is the podcast for the bookshop, I should probably tell you what I've been reading since that's the
Yeah.
whole point. It's all about books. I actually just found the audiobook for I think it's oh balls, hold on a second. What is the name? It's there's my cat again. Ah, Snowflake. Her name is Snowflake. My black cat's name is Snowflake.
Ah, yes. I
We like
see.
irony around here. But The Quiet Place, the horror movie that was out a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. I think they made a sequel to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Actually, the sequel was filmed at the harbor in my town.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I thought that was pretty cool too. But I'm sorry, the end, I don't even know. Some part of the movie was filmed in my town.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. But this book is called, I believe, The Silence, and I think it's where they got the idea for the movie because it's
Okay.
very much like that. And I can't watch the movie because me reading subtitles, all I can see is the subtitles. I can't see the rest of what's going on. So
Okay.
it was pretty much a no-go for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it really does seem like it's going to be a good book, and the narrator's good.
Okay. Okay. Good. It's
Yeah.
called you said The Silence?
The Silence, yeah, hold on a second, I
Silence.
can't.
Hmm.
Not of the Lambs, I promise.
No. No,
Actually,
I
that
actually
was a
saw
book,
that for
wasn't
the
it?
I think it might have been. I think it is based off of a older book series, like almost like Sherlock Holmes was, that type of thing. I
Oh
know not,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it was ever that old, but I actually just saw that for the first time last year.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. That was
Oh
one
my
that just kind of
goodness.
I missed forever and ever. Yeah. So as I saw one scene out of that series, there was the scene in the second movie where that dude is like dead and strung up against the wall after he escapes, after Hannibal escapes. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and you know what? That was no, that was Silence of the Lambs. That was in the first movie. Yeah, I think I
Well,
don't remember. It's something where like the guards, he's in like the plastic prison or whatever, or in the prison, and then he kills all the guards and gets out, and one guard is strung up on the wall. And I saw that as like a 6-year-old kid, and I was like,
did
oh, I
you
gotta
have
go.
nightmares? Did you have a nightmare or
No,
two?
no, 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 no. I actually don't really have nightmares. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
You're right. That is weird. Okay, hold
Mm.
on. The book is by Tim Lebbon, Lebbon.
The Silence by Tim Levin. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
it
look that up.
really does seem like it's going to be a good one. But yeah, The Silence of the Lambs. I'm like 14 years older than you, so I saw that a few years before you
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah.
I was a little too young to be watching it as well. And I did have nightmares. So
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where, you're scrolling through page to page on cable and suddenly you see something you don't want to. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, the same thing happened with the second movie. Joel was my husband was scanning through channels, and there was a guy with a straw in his mouth, and
Hmm.
it turns out he was drinking his brain, and I was a
Oh,
little
yeah.
disturbed.
Mm, nice.
Yeah, my husband thought that was hilarious that I was disturbed by that.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I can't watch like Hostel or anything like that because I just don't, I'm not into like the gore stuff as much. I like zombie movies, but that's about as far as that goes.
I only sometimes like zombie movies. I like zombie books more than I like zombie movies.
I only read a handful I think I've read one or two zombie books. Like I read it was the novelization of Resident Evil 2 from the video game. And I really
Ooh,
enjoyed that,
okay,
but I haven't read any other zombie books.
okay.
Oh, well, the Walking Dead comic book I read a little bit of. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, see, I enjoy post-apocalypse and apocalypse type
Hmm.
books. So I mean, zombies are a lot of what you get,
Yeah, yeah.
but the one that I a friend recommended to me was To Beat the Devil.
Hmm.
And that is like a demon apocalypse. And that's
Oh,
actually really, 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 really good.
to beat the devil. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's yeah, that it's surprising that that is such a prominent like the devil apocalypse type thing. Like, the Book of Revelation is such a prominent thing in our culture, and it's a
Yeah.
surprisingly underdone aspect of literature and movies, I think. Like I don't see that very often as far as apocalypses go. There's maybe like a glimpse of it type deal, but I don't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that fully like realized very often, or at least that in like a world, like a post apocalypse, biblical apocalypse world, I
Right.
don't know. I think that would be a lot more interesting to see.
There well, let's see, one that I think it's called Hunter. Yeah, The Hunter is the name of the book, but
Hmm.
it was a teenage girl who she has the ability to fight monsters or something along that line, and it
Hmm.
takes place post apocalypse, but it's not an apocalypse that was ever really explained. It was just it, it, it was in the past, so they don't exactly talk about it, but there's the Christians in these books are called Christers, and the
Okay.
Christers believe that it's like that they weren't taken to heaven after the rapture kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the Christers are sad because they're being punished for not
Yeah.
or something along that line.
They missed out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's kind of
But
what it
it
speaks
it's
of,
a decent book. It's
Okay.
not it wasn't my favorite, but it was decent.
Yeah, I did read a series back in high school called Hellgate London, where like demons started to spill over into the world, and it kind of came with some people being able to harness the magic that came through the portal, and then you'd have these people that were like part of like a secret society, and they were called the Paladins, and they wore this special armor with runes on them and stuff. It was really cool, but I don't really see much of it anymore. I think the license might have been kind of just left behind, but it was really
Um,
cool.
quick note, we had that book in the shop. We had that in the
Oh,
shop and it is no longer there. I don't know where it is. So yeah, somebody out there
I
has
hope somebody bought it. I hope somebody bought it
that.
because it's a good read.
As soon as I saw the cover, I really wanted to read it, and so I looked it up, and I did find it, but I don't remember details about the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but let's see. So before you started the narration and all that jazz, what was your favorite book?
My favorite book series is by R.A. Salvatore. It's the Legend of Drizzt books. It's a Wizards of the Coast D&D Dungeons and Dragons book
Oh,
series.
okay.
He's a dark elf, and this book series spans back, I think, to the 80s, is when he started writing them,
Okay. Okay.
and it's been ongoing. And it, Dungeons and Dragons, the Wizards of the Coast book series used to be this really broad scope, like it's this world essentially that they'd have tons of writers creating stories in. And over time, as the books have kind of faded off, his books are the only ones that have really stood the test of time to a degree. So now his
Okay.
characters kind of become the face of Dungeons and Dragons. Um,
Oh.
but I actually named my cat after a character from the books. It's Bruner. Bruner Battlehammer is a dwarf, and I call my cat Bruner Cattlehammer. But yeah, he's orange
That's
and
awesome.
feisty. Yeah.
That's much more creative than Snowflake, I gotta say. Uh,
It took me a minute to figure it out, but my cousin was like, name him Bruner, because that's his favorite book series too. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. I might be getting myself in trouble though. And he's a feisty little cat, don't take no crap. So it matched the name perfectly.
oh, that does. I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
You're making me want to read these though now.
There's
Did
like
you?
40 books in the series, but they're really good.
Holy cow.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's been writing them for a long time. They're still going.
Dude, I am totally gonna be that writer. I definitely will. I have a series that I don't remember when I started it, but probably 4 years ago. And I'm working on book 10.
Wow,
And
which one?
Madison Meyer, they're
Madison
paranormal
Meyer. Okay,
mysteries.
okay. I remember the name. I don't think I
Yeah.
looked at him, but I remember
Yeah.
seeing the name. Yeah.
I was actually gonna have you narrate the short stories that were in a guy's perspective, but then we ended up doing these books, the
Yeah.
Light Bearer series, and it just didn't work out for getting that done at this point.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, well, I
uh,
mean, we'll see where it goes. I'd still be open to doing those in the future too. I do really like your writing. I was impressed with Fire and Chains. I thought the story was good. I like especially that one. Like it was really just tight. Like the characters were good, the writing was good, the dialogue was good, the setting, all that was good. I actually the my friends and family and stuff that listened to it as well. I mean, they're like, dude, your narrating was good, but they also made mention of just like they liked your story as well. And they kept
thank
asking if there was
you.
going to be a sequel. And I was like, it kind of felt like you were setting up a sequel, but I know you said it was a standalone, but it felt like
Well, see,
it's, yeah.
it's gonna be linked into the Madison Meyer series.
Oh, okay. See that makes sense. I like it when you like you're kind of building like your Reaperverse, I'll call it.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
exactly.
yeah.
It's nice that you've coined that phrase. I'm definitely going to use that.
Yeah, use Reaper. Well, it's a popular thing nowadays. I mean, if you look like Brandon Sanderson has his universe now with all his books are connected, and we got the Marvel verse. And are you aware of who Brandon Sanderson is?
I do, yes,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
haven't read that many of his books.
I've only
I've
read
read.
three of them, three and a half. I'm halfway through Rhythm of War of his Stormlight Archives, but he has a bunch of other ones that I'm not. They're just big books. They're big books. Yeah. I
See,
think the Rhythm of War is like 140,000 words, and that's probably not even
ooh.
correct. I don't know. It's they're huge.
See, words don't apply very well for me because like it's the words are too the numbers are too small for me to actually see them easily. So I
Okay.
always go by pages.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have no idea how many words are on a page. So when somebody says that, it basically means nothing to me.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just say he writes thick boy books. We'll call it that.
Okay. 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 That works. That works. I actually got Steelheart. That was I did enjoy that one quite a bit.
Okay. I haven't read that one. Yeah. But
It's young adult.
okay. Is
Wait a
that
second.
one of
Maybe
his?
that's not. Yeah. Hold
Okay.
on. Maybe that's not. Hold on. It might not be him. But I just found I believe it's Sandman on
Sandman, is that Neil Gaiman?
was it Neil Gaiman? I was thinking it was Brandon Sanderson.
I
I
think
don't
that
know, but
one's yeah.
the it was too many narrators. It was
Hmm.
acted out rather than being read, and I hated
Okay.
it.
Mm. See, I am interested in trying out something like that, except it being narrated, but I think it would be cool to have like a narrator, but
Yeah.
then have an actual different narrator for each character, you know.
Well,
But
see,
that's like a super expensive thing, but I think it
yeah,
would be
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
What somebody else told me is that you have to do each person has to be paid individually, but
Hmm.
I don't know how they sew it all together. I don't know who has that job. So
Hmm.
you would have to have some kind of, I don't know, like
Well, you'd
a,
still you if you're talking, do you mean by sew together? Do you mean like editing it all together?
I think
Or
so,
do you
yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, you'd have to get a producer, like it'd basically
Okay.
be like what we do, except just they're dedicated specifically, like their only job is editing all the stuff together. So
Okay.
yeah, it would be very expensive, but I mean, if
Yeah.
it's somebody who's like, like something like Harry Potter, like
Yeah.
if you took Harry Potter and then got the cast of the movies to all voice their own individual characters, but then got like, Stephen Fry narrated them, but then still just had him do narration, and then had all
Okay.
like
Okay.
Rupert Grint and all them do their characters. I mean,
Right.
that would sound super cool. But
That actually kind of would. But I mean, it was, I don't know. That seems, hold on. What the heck? Sandman in all categories, but it won't show me the categories. I'm going to start screaming in a second. Don't mind me.
it's okay. I fear more for Snowflake.
Snowflake. She's very sweet.
She's just
Well,
chilling.
I've got a fat guy next to me, who's he looks like a pumpkin roll. He's orange
Mm,
and he has a white belly. And
that's nice.
yeah, he's snoring while he's laying next to me. But I'm not showing you him.
Yeah, that's okay. He might pop up sooner or later.
Probably not. He's too lazy. Oh, good griefus. I have no idea. But the Sandman, that I keep thinking it would be an interesting idea to do something like that, but yeah, like you said, so many times they're not done well.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
that would have to
haven't
be one of those things where it's like you're already super successful with it. You've put out
Right.
your base books. That's like one of those like deluxe edition things where it's
Mm,
like, okay, we already made all our money. We already got this huge fan base. Now let's do this one that's like it's
right.
just like for the fans. It's a bit of a money sink, but it's a passion project. But it
Right.
would have to be done well, and it would be
Very true.
expensive. But
Very true.
yeah.
Actually, there was a zombie apocalypse book which I've talked about on here before. It's Sarah, hold on. Sarah Lyons Fleming is
Okay.
the author, and they're very good books, but they're more romance
Hmm.
than they are zombie because
Yeah.
that's what you have to have these days.
Yeah.
Um, but it's uh the every guy voice is done by one guy, and every female voice is done by one girl. But in book two, they have a few screw ups where you're talking along and all of a sudden Eric's voice is being done in the female narrator's
Hmm.
voice, and it throws you off, and she doesn't do as good of a guy voice as the guy does for girl voices,
Yeah.
so it was a disaster, but
That
like
actually. I'm
it
sorry. Go ahead.
when it's done well, it's really fun.
A good example of that is actually from Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight books.
Oh,
There's his narrator. He has two narrators for those books, and it's
okay.
a husband-wife couple.
Oh,
I think it's Michael and Caitlin Redding, and he
okay.
nar- he. So each chapter is a POV character, like Game of Thrones is,
Okay.
and the POV dictates who the narrator is. If it's a male POV, the
Okay.
narrator is male, and then they just go ahead and they do all the female voices, all the male voices that are within the boundaries of that chapter, and
Okay.
then
Okay.
it switches, obviously it switches back and forth. That way you don't have that mistake like that where it's like on the cuff. It's like, yeah, you can hear the differences between their deliveries of each character, but
Right.
they're separated, and I think it works well.
Yeah, that does sound a lot better actually.
Yeah.
I've read several that are like that. One that was just recommended to me is, I believe it's called The Land of Bridges, or the hold on. I've got 54 minutes left in the book, and yeah, I
Hmm.
don't want it to end, so I haven't listened to it yet. And also, it's not long enough to be on the treadmill, so I'm
Oh
sad
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Hold on, almost there. Um, there we go. The Bridge Kingdom is what it's called.
The Bridge Kingdom. Okay. And
Yeah,
is that a sci-fi fantasy type deal?
fantasy. I only read
Okay.
fantasy.
Okay.
You won't hear me talk about anything else.
Yeah, I'm
But
pretty much the same way.
good to know. High five. Um, yes. But it the ones that are in his point of view are read in a guy voice, and the ones that are in her point of view are in a female voice.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it, each one does, a decent job of making the voices sound good. So it works.
Yeah, I would assume that that would have to be pretty tough because not only do you have to do a voice that's not, within your gender, but you also gotta try your best to do the girl voice as well as match the rhythm and tone and enunciation, all that of your counter narrator. I would
Yes.
imagine that would be tough, but you know, yeah,
People do it. They do
it,
it.
it would be worth a shot. Worth a
Yeah.
shot.
Okay. So we're coming up on being close to the end. So my question for you is, what do you think is like your dream project? What's your dream project for something to narrate?
Um, I don't know if this sounds arrogant or anything like that, but I plan on my ultimate goal is to narrate and do voice work at full time so that I'll have time to write my book. And in my head, I have a book that's like, and it could be anywhere from like 6 to 9 books, depending on what it is. And it's a sci-fi fantasy book. And my dream project would be to have that just be completed so that I want to narrate my own book. Um,
That sounds awesome.
and yeah, that would be to know that to be at a point where that story was fulfilled and completed and out. I don't care if it sells well or not. It's just one of those things where it's like you have a story in you and you want to get it out,
Right,
you know.
right.
That's all.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And you do realize that since you're on my podcast, this means that when you write your book, you have to sell it in my shop. You know that, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just so you know.
Yeah, we'll get the
But
we'll get the big poster things with like the people, the big like life-sized person cut out of the main character, all that deal.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down with this. I will definitely do it. I don't have a lot of room in my shop, but I will find room for your cutouts.
Just duct tape it to the wall. It'll be okay.
Yes. I definitely will. Okay, so it was today or yesterday. I don't even remember what day. It was today, wasn't it? That the book came out in their midst.
It came out in the middle of the night last night.
Oh,
It
of
was like
course it
it
did.
was it was like 10 o'clock at night, something like that. When it came out, I a bit of a night owl, so I was up late and I checked my email and I was like, oh, it's out. I actually was already trying to pass out some promo codes last night and those
Oh,
weren't
don't.
functioning yet.
Yeah, yeah, I found that out recently.
Yeah.
They actually didn't start working until later this evening.
Well, I tried to test out the code myself because
Oh,
I,
yes.
I, me and I had access to my cousin's Audible and I tried to send it to him.
Okay.
It didn't work. It's like, no, no, you're not allowed.
Not yet. Yeah.
But I got
Maybe later.
excited and I was just like, yes, it's out. Okay. So I just started posting stuff and all that. And yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you're excited, and I'm so glad that you agreed to do this. And thank you so much, and you did an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been wonderful to work with you. You're very pleasant and agreeable and
You don't know me very well.
well, in a work sense.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
you know, it's I don't know, it's been a good experience with both books, and yeah,
Glad.
I hope that everything works out and we can keep moving forward.
And make money. Make money is good. Let's make
Yes,
money.
make money. I don't care how passionate it is. At the end of the day, we got to make some money.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. All right. Well, thank you again, and have a good day and well, evening, whatever. And read some more books. You can't just read my books.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I got about 10 books over there that I'm like varying percentages of the way through. But
Excellent.
uh yeah, thank you for having me on here. I actually saw
Absolutely.
I saw that you had podcast, and I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if she's gonna put me on there at any point. And yeah.
Yes, yes,
But
indeed.
it was fun. Once again, thank you for working with me. It's been great. Thank you for having me on your podcast. And here's to continued success.
Yes, we need a drink to toast with.
Yes.
Darn it. I have
And Merry
hot tea.
Christmas.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Merry Christmas.
Yes,
Mm.
nice tree. We got ours up, but we got to fix our star.
I have a Santa hat as my star. Hold on.
Mm.
Wait, wait. Wait, hold on. You
Oh,
have to see my Santa hat. There.
oh,
Can
I
you see
see. I see it. Yeah, yeah.
it? All right, I swear I'm done. Okay. So, Merry Christmas and see you next time, and next time for another book too.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, and
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Right. End meeting.